The UFC Fight Pass announcement just took place and it was not what I expected whatsoever. It is that George St-Pierre is going to be returning to the UFC in December, but not in MMA. He's going to be returning in submission grappling or submission wrestling is what he called it. But he's going to be competing in the grappling tournaments that the UFC hosts under the UFC Fight Pass Invitational banner. And I'm looking forward to it, man. We haven't seen GSP in a long time. And not only that, we've only seen GSP once in a very, very long time because he fought in 2013 against Johnny Hendricks. Then he come back 4 years later, almost 4 years later to the day, and he hasn't fought since then, and that's about 6 years ago now. So a 42-year-old George St-Pierre, he was talking about how he's still training, how he's still in excellent shape, which he is, because if you look at his Instagram, he is in fantastic shape for a 42-year-old man. But he said that at the age of 42 years old, returning to MMA just isn't really a realistic idea. It's just not something that he wants to do. But grappling is something that he wants to keep doing. And he seemed really, really passionate about competing in grappling and even then growing the sport of grappling as well. So that's pretty exciting. You know, GSP maybe being a figurehead for the UFC's UFC Fight Pass Invitational grappling tournaments going forward could be a very fun idea. And it's something I am very much here for because I am a fan of GSP. I do believe that he is one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time in MMA. And now he's going to keep maybe not building on his legacy, but he's going to keep competing and putting on fights for the fans under grappling. So that makes sense because he's 42 years old. It would be pretty unfair to assume that George St-Pierre could go out there and fight in MMA. I mean, he could because he's GSP and he's done it before, but he's 42 years old, and at this point, I think fighting grappling is a smart idea, and I'm all for it because at the end of the day, GSP fighting and grappling is better than GSP not fighting at all. And I'm actually quite excited for this. We don't know who his opponent is, but he did say in the interview that he's actually been given a list of potential opponents. He's going to talk to the UFC and he's going to talk to his team, and they're going to find an opponent that is the most suitable. And also, he did say he wants an opponent that the fans want. So, could it be Khabib? Could GSP versus Khabib happen? I don't know if it will be his return matchup in December. I think maybe a little bit more of a realistic matchup could be maybe like someone along the lines of Anthony Smith or Glover Teixeira who fought recently, or maybe it genuinely could be someone like Joe Pyfer or Andre Petroski or something like that. Just or Gerald Meerschaert maybe. Like, we don't know. I don't know too many grapplers. I don't know too many people. I know a lot of MMA fighters compete in grappling, but I don't know if GSP is going to go out there and try and grapple against like the world champions of grappling. You know, I mean, maybe they would just give him Joe Pyfer to start with, and then if he gets through Joe Pyfer and out grapples Joe Pyfer, then these are just examples. You guys know what I mean. So it'll be interesting to see what the future holds. We know that he's never going to come back to MMA. I think that's just a smart decision because at the end of the day, if a 42-year-old George St-Pierre went out there in MMA and everyone was like, this guy's the greatest of all time, this guy is so good, like, you guys have no idea how good this guy is, how dominant this guy has been throughout his whole career, two-time weight class champion, you know, and then he's 42, goes out there and fights, just for example, like Kamaru Usman or Leon Edwards and loses, then it's a stain on his legacy. It wouldn't really be the biggest stain on his legacy, but it would still be a stain on his legacy. He still would be risking his legacy. Even if he just lost to anybody in MMA, it would be a bad look for his legacy. So I like this. Even if he loses in grappling, it doesn't take anything away from what he's done in MMA. And if he wins, maybe what one could argue that it just keeps building on an already great legacy. Like if he goes out there and he beats some really good grapplers, who really knows? And another thing that he mentioned, which I could make a separate video on, is that he's been training with Elon Musk, and he said that Elon Musk has a judo background. I did research on Elon Musk. I think I don't actually remember if I found the judo background, but I know that he had a martial arts background in the past, but I don't know if judo was part of that. But he said that Elon Musk was surprisingly strong. I don't know if he's just saying that because it's Elon Musk and he's an idol, but we know that GSP and Elon Musk have met and they are training together. So this fight genuinely could happen, Zuck versus Musk, but I don't want to take that away from GSP. It's just the fact that GSP is training Elon Musk for the matchup. So with all that being said, let me know what you think. Are you excited for GSP to come back? I am, personally. I'm pretty hyped. So with all that being said, let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know who you think GSP is going to fight in the submission grappling. What do you think about submission grappling? From what I've seen at one championship, I'm not the biggest fan of submission grappling, but because it's GSP, I'm going to be all over it, mate. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one.